as Kevin Rudd prepares for his talks with Barack Obama next month on issues including the issue of Afghanistan, Sky News has been given a rare insight into the struggles Australian troops are facing in the south of that country. The Aussie troops are conducting house-by-house searches for the Taliban, but as you'd expect, they're not always welcome. The Sky News correspondent David Speers was taken along on a patrol in the Baluchi Valley in Uruzgan, where he saw how the Australian and Afghan troops are working together and the challenges they face.
Sunrise over the Baluchi Valley, the most beautiful and the most dangerous valley in southern Afghanistan's Uruzgan Province. We camped overnight here at Forward Operating Base Locke, named after Sergeant Matthew Locke, one of the Australians killed in this war. It was a cold night, but fortunately the worst of winter has passed. And throughout the night you could hear wild dogs howling from the hills surrounding this base, and also the occasional fighter jet overhead. This morning we're heading out on a foot patrol with the Australian soldiers and the Afghan National Army. We've been briefed in detail on the area that we're going to and what we'll be doing. For obvious operational security reasons, we can't broadcast all of what we're told, but what we can tell you is the area that we'll be going to, just down here in the Baluchi Valley, is a known area of insurgent activity. There is a bomb maker, or what they call an IED facilitator, an improvised explosive device facilitator. Makes crude bombs, essentially, that targets coalition troops as they move through this area. He's been active in this area for some time. There have been devices found there as recently as a week ago, and they suspect that there may be as many as 10 who are helping him or sympathetic to him in the area that we will be patrolling. So the mission obviously is to find them today. The Australian and Afghan troops plough straight through the fields. The footpaths are considered too risky. The farmers complain about the damage to their crops, but they're powerless. It's just one of the many points of tension between the local population and the coalition forces. Home searches are an even bigger sensitivity. The Afghan soldiers lead these searches. They're more welcome than the foreign troops as they're attuned to the cultural sensitivities. Women aren't to be seen and are taken to a room where they will remain until the soldiers leave. The Australians secure the perimeter. If there is something or someone in the compound here the Taliban is determined to protect, there's likely to be a fight. The Australians also select which homes are to be searched based on intelligence.
They're always targeted, we don't just do these things at random. We want to make sure that there's a purpose for it because, as I'm sure we all appreciate, this is someone's house. But we also understand that time to time either people either willingly or under coercion are holding weapons or ID components in these koalas.
Once the all-clear is given, the soldiers move on to the next compound, or koala, as they're called. The head of the household protests. He doesn't want soldiers disturbing his family. There's a baby inside, but he has no choice and finally gives in. This is a traditional Afghan home, little changed for thousands of years. The people here don't have much, but it's their home, and the owner wears a frustrated expression as the forensic search gets underway. It's a painstaking process. The Afghan soldiers have to go through courtyard by courtyard in a compound like this. It can take up to an hour to look at just this one family home. The soldiers dig into walls and into the floor. Anywhere they suspect weapons or bomb-making material may be hidden. Everything is checked, from the roof to the animal yards. An Afghan army interpreter tells me the owner is upset because of the disruption for the women of the household.
It's because it's tradition of Afghan people, because of the woman, and they're not allowed to see. Therefore, it's a little different people. We have a different trip, and here is the Afghan people. They don't like to see the women and like this.
Once again, nothing is found. The soldiers move next door, where the owner, high on marijuana, is far more relaxed about the intrusion. He says he has nothing to do with the Taliban, but they are a problem in this area.
Is it dangerous for you and your children?
He says, yes, we are afraid from the Taliban because they always make a trouble for us.
The patrol lasted 8 hours. Half a dozen homes were searched. Nothing was found.
Yeah, we could have had the situation whereby the information was simply wrong. Could have been that there was actually something in there that had already been moved out. He certainly didn't give me the impression, given his demeanour, that he had anything really to worry about. And that's obviously, there's a number of signs that we look for when we go into these things. And same as any person, you're going to exhibit some sort of signs, you've got something to hide or you're worried about something.
We head back to the base through poppy fields. The opium farmers barely blink at the passing troops. They're too busy tending rich cash crops. The Australians considered today a success. Nothing was found, which means either the Taliban have hidden themselves well or really are in decline here. The mentors are also happy with the progress of the Afghan troops. They discuss areas where they need to improve, staying in formation on patrol and not dropping their guard when it's time to head home. The aim is for the Afghan army to take ownership of these patrols completely. What's less clear is whether the battle for hearts and minds in the Baluchi Valley is being won.